we are discussing after pacifying Yudhishthira Maharaj, and to pacify him more, to convince him more that whatever was done is not unjust, not uh, unjust to people in general, but it was for the cause of religion. Yudhishthira Maharaj was being convinced by Bhismadeva. Okay, so then he told, how the Krishna is the supreme cause of all process. Then Yudhishthira Maharaj may think that, oh, Krishna did all those things. He could not convince me. But Bhismadeva personally ensuring Yudhishthira Maharaj that whatever is done by Krishna, and Krishna is not ordinary personality. He is Swayam Narayan. Okay? So, and that is confirmed by Narada, Shiva, Kapila, and all those things we discussed. So you might be thinking that Krishna is your cousin, messenger, well-wisher, but yeah, of course, out of love he acted like this thing, but he's very personal to Godhead. Okay? He is present in everyone's heart, and he is equal to everyone. So even if you are thinking, oh, he was partial to me, no, Krishna is present in everyone's heart. He knows everyone desires, so he equally kind to everyone. So that's what we also saw, right? So now, and he is equally kind to everyone. Still, I'm about to leave the body. Krishna has no direct relationship with me in terms of biological relationship with me. And Krishna has biological relations with Arjuna, but not with Krishna directly. Arjuna being a friend of Kunti, he has a biological relation somewhere, but not Bhisma. Krishna is very kind. Still, I have no biological relation. I have just spiritual relationship, but he's in front of me when I'm about to end my life. Okay, so then he says that how the Lord can present the personality of Godhead who appears in the mind of devotee by attentive devotion and meditation and by chanting the holy name, release the devotee from the bondage of fruitive activities at the time of his spiritual material body. So then Bhismadeva is saying that again he is emphasizing the chanting the holy name of the Lord. Right? So verse number 23, please remember this. So that he glorifies about chanting the holy name. So then he's saying that kindly await, when I'm about to leave body, please be big for me. So that's what Bhismadeva requested. Okay. So then Goswami continues from here. Sutuvacha Yudhishthirastadha Akarnya Sayanam Sarpanchare Pruchadvivitan Dharman Ruchinam Chanu Sunivatam. So Maharaj Yudhishthir, after hearing Bhismadeva speak in that appealing tone, asked him in the presence of all great rishis about the essential principle of the various religious duty. Now, Yudhishthira Maharaj has been enthroned as a king, administrative head of the whole Bharatvarsha. So it is his duty to follow the religious principle properly. Okay. So and Bhismadeva is most expert in all those things. That's why Yudhishthira Maharaj is inquiring from Bhismadeva. Okay. So Bhismadeva speaking in that appealing tone convinced Maharaj Yudhishthira that he was very soon passing away. And Maharaj Yudhishthira was inspired by Lord Sri Krishna to ask him of the principle of religion. Lord Sri Krishna inspired Maharaj to ask Bhismadeva in the presence of many great sages, indicating thereby that Lord's devotee like Bhismadeva, although appearing living as a worldly man, is far superior to many great sages, even Vyasadeva sages. So Krishna wanted, even by doing his thing, he wanted to establish that how the Bhismadeva, his devotees are far beyond this, all those things. Another point is that Bhismadeva at that time was not only lying on the deathbed, but was greatly aggrieved because of that state. And one should not have asked this kind of question, but Lord Krishna wanted to prove that his pure devotee are always sound in body and mind by dint of spiritual enlightenment. So we have already discussed the beginning, right? When we started this chapter. So we have discussed. And we should also prefer to solve this problematic question by asking Bhismadeva. Okay. So one thing that, one should not ask any question at that time, but Lord Sri Krishna wanted to prove that These pure devotees are always sound in body and mind by dint of spiritual enlightenment, and thus in any circumstances, a devotee of the Lord is perfect is in perfect order to speak the right way of life. Even if you see Prabhupada, so now Prabhupada left just after 2 days of Gaurdha Puja. Yeah, so Prabhupada, when he was about to leave just 7, 8 days ago, he was so consciously, last chapter he translated was 10th canto, 13th chapter, That's just, if you read that, so nicely written purpose. That's how to see that video, how wonderfully he translated that video. So that proves that devotees are always in clear consciousness with the Krishna, and that's why they can speak nicely in Krishna consciousness. Okay, so and Yudhishthira was also preferred to solve his problematic question by asking Bhismadeva rather than ask anyone else present there who was seemingly more learned than Bhismadeva. So this is all due to the arrangement of the great will carrier Lord Krishna who established the glories of his devotee. The father likes to see the son become more famous than himself. Okay, so Bhismadeva wanted to see. Okay, so same way Krishna also like to see that his devotee become more glorious than him. The Lord declares very emphatically that worship of his devotee is more valuable than worship of the Lord himself. So that's what he says. So just to establish, yeah, his devotees are better. So Lord Krishna did this. In the next, he says, we will not now the whatever question Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking, we will not. Prabhupada has wrote so nicely in the purport, but I will not discuss them in detail. You can read yourself. Okay. So, but I'll just go through the verses. It says, Swasvabhava Bhitan Yatha Varna Yathashramam Vairagya Raga Upa Vidyaman Ama Amnatobhya Lakshana. So Maharaj at Maharaj Yudhishthira's inquiry, Bhismadeva first defined all the classification of caste and order of life. What are the classification? Varnashram dharma. There are 4 varnas. Which are those? Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra. These are 4 varna. Brahmans. Then what are the ashramas? Sannyasram. Sorry, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas ashram. All those things are there. Prabhupada has written them nicely. So, and we have discussed this thing many times. So, what are the qualities of Brahmana? We have already discussed in Bhagavad Gita. So, what are the qualities of Kshatriya? 18.41 to 43. What are the qualities of Vaishya and Sudra? Then, what are the qualities of Brahmachari? What are the Vaishnava and Sannyas? We have all those things discussed. And this conception of 4 castes and 4 orders of life is planned by Lord himself. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 4.13 that Chaturmana Maya Srishva Puna Karma Vibhaga Satasya Kartaram Pima Vidya Kartaram Pima. I have divided the society in 4 Vana and 4 Asam. Okay. So why? So is to accelerate the transcendental qualities of the individual person so that he may gradually realize his spiritual identity and thus act according to get free from material bondage or conditioned life. So why he did? If someone performs Sudra Dharma so nicely, so next time he may be will be promoted to Vaishya. If he perform Vaishya Dharma nicely, next time he will be promoted to Kshatriya. And if he then he can be promoted. He will be promoted to Brahmanical order. So that's it for gradual elevation. So all those things are these are 4 spiritual order. These are material orders. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra. The spiritual orders are Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasi. Okay. So these things are defined nicely. So I'm not going to discuss. discussed this in detail. Certain members are administrative clause, special advice to get charity and not accept charity in any circumstance. Modern administrative race. Okay, so Vaishya, the member of mercantile community, are specifically advised to protect the cows, cow protection. Okay, all those things are there. Sudras are advised to serve all three varnas. Mahabharata also it is explained. Then it says Dana Dharman, Raja Dharman, Moksha Dharman, Vibhagasha, Dharman, Bhagavad, Dharman, Sama, Vya, Yogatha. He then explained by division acts of charity, the pragmatic activities of king, the activities of salvation. Then he described the duties of woman and devotee both briefly and extensively. The charity, to give charity is one function of householders, one of the householders' main function. Actually, it is said, no, brahmachari should be very clean. Okay, so main objective of brahmachari life is cleanliness. So cleanliness means not just physical cleanliness, but mental cleanliness also. Then how we can follow that mental cleanliness? By freeing from kamasana, lust, sexual desire. If you are free, then you are clean mentally. And that can be, of course, that is at certain level, but you will get more purified when you chant the holy name of the Lord. Then duty of grihastha is to give charity. So brahmachari, vanaprastha and sannyasa ashram, all three ashrams are not recommended to anyone. They should be taken care by grihastha. The idea. Vanaprastha, in vanaprastha ashram, a husband can live with the wife, but they cannot have sexual indulgence. Okay. So after some time, the wife can return home and man can continue with his sannyasasana. Then sannyasasana. So in Vanaprastha, you have in Grihasthashram, the main thing is that give charity. Vanaprastha is that you become detached. Okay. And sannyasasram, you should be detached from everything. You should not keep money and anything. But as per I forgot which Puran it is said in Kali Yuga there are 4 dosas. There is one dosa in each ashram. Brahmacharis are not clean. So at least externally, mentally they may be, but external cleanliness come dikhta hai. Grihastha, they don't hardly give charity, not everyone, but there are most of the family forget about Grihastha. I should not say Grihastha, they are Grihmedi. So Grihastha for Grihastha means there is a difference between Grihastha and Grihmedi. Grihasthas are those, they have a family life, but for them the Krishna is in their center. Okay, so whatever their activity they do keeping Krishna in the center. But Grihmedis, of course, they are also family men, but whatever activity they do, keeping me and mine, keeping themselves, keep that person or family as the center. So that is the difference. They are much more indulged in sense gratificatory activity, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So grihastha, or you can say they don't give charity, Kali Yuga specifically. So these dosas are in Kali Yuga. Vanaprastha, so they are so much attached with their children, family. They cannot be detached from all those things. And what is the dosa of sannyasasram that they keep money? So that is mentioned in one of the Quran. Okay. So a brahmachari or student should perform sacrifice, householders should give charity, person in the retired life or in renounced order should practice penance and austerity. So all those things are mentioned. So, but I am not going to discuss this in detail. There is a dharma artha kama mokshamsya saha upayan yathamune nana akhyane itihasesu varnayamasa tattvavid. Then he described the occupational duty of different orders and status of life. What are the order? There is a sannyasa order. So that was one. Okay. So then status of life, citing instance from history, where he was himself well acquainted with the truth. So, so he explained with the just like oh, if you don't give charity properly, so then there is an example. When you go 10th canto, there is a story of King Ruga. So he gave charity and he gave almost so many cows to one Brahmana, but by mistake, one cow entered in the, again, came out from the Brahmana's custody and then entered into the king's uh, covered again. So then after some time, another Brahmana came and King Ruga again gave this the charity. So which the cow which is returned, he gave that cow also in charity, but he was not aware. Then both the Brahmana came. One Brahmana searched. He was searching. His cow has returned. He was searching. Where is my cow? So my cow has been given the donation to other Brahmana. So both Brahmana say, how you can do like this? You have given me charity. You took it back and you are giving that cow in charity to others. That's not appropriate. So then both the Brahmanas were fighting. So King Yoga after some time died. Then he was taken by Yamaraj. He said, oh, you perform so many pious activities, but there is one defect. White dhoti pe ek chota sa kala bund hai. Then he said that two Brahmana fought and that was a fault. And he did unknowingly. So because of that, he has to suffer hellish penalty. He becomes, sorry, he has to suffer. So then he become lizard. So that story comes in 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. That way, Bhismadeva recited many stories. Okay, so that way he was explaining. Then yeah, so that's a true passage. Incident mentioned in the Vedic literature such as Purana, Mahabharata, and Ramayana are factual historical narration that took place sometime in past, although not in any chronological order. So Bhagavatam is not find in chronological order, but they teach you the principle of devotional service. That is very, very important. Principle is very, very important. Okay, may not be chronologically. Chronological orders are not so important, but history, sorry, principles are very important. Such a historical facts being instructive for ordinary men were asserted without chronological reference. Besides that, they happen on different planets in different universes. So it's not necessary that they have happened in this universe. Maybe some other universe also. And that the description of the narration is sometimes measured by the three dimensions. And we are simply concerned with the instructive lesson of such an incident, even though they are not in order by our limited range of understanding. And Bhismadeva describes such a narration before Maharaj Yudisthira and declared these different questions. So, okay, chronological orders are not so important, but principles are important. He said, Dharma pravadatasya tasya sakala pratipastita yogin Chandam Mrityor Vanchitsa Uttarayana. While Bhismadeva was describing occupational duty, the sun's course ran into the northern hemisphere. This period is described by the mystic who died at their will. So we have discussed this in 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So you remember on Makar Sankranti, that is on 14th. So that was the day when Bhismadeva sun entered into the Uttarayan, and at that time Bhismadeva left the body. So if you go through that 8th chapter, we discuss in detail that how yes. So I think okay. Yeah. Yes. Oh, based on the Bharat, I shall now explain to you the different times at which passing away from this world, the yogi does or does not come back. There are in this verse number, this verse number 14 to verse number 21, Krishna explained there are two kind of material world. One is spiritual world and second is material world. So material world is dukhalayam sasvatam, it's full of miseries and temporary, whereas spiritual world is yet there is another unmanifested nature which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. And all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. Spiritual world never get annihilated, whereas material world is dukhalayam and temporary. It's get annihilated repeatedly. So now who can enter in the spiritual world? So that is yeah, that is described here. That, oh, best of Bharata, I shall now explain to you the different time at which passing away from this world, the yogi does or does not come back. So he says, those who know the supreme Brahman attain the supreme by passing away from the world during the influence of fiery God. In the light, at the auspicious moment of the day, during the fortnight of the waxing moon, or during the 6 month when the sun travels in the north. So now the Uttarayan is starting. The mystic who passes away from the world during the smoke, the night, fortnight of the waning moon, or the 6 month when the sun passes to the south, reaches the moon planet, but again come back. So this is about yogi. Okay. According to the Vedic opinion, there are two ways of passing away from this world, one in light and one in darkness. When one passes in the light, he does not come back, but when he passes in the darkness, he returns. Yeah. But here is this. Although the devotee knows these two parts, Arjuna, they are never bewildered. Therefore, be always fixed in devotion. So when you if you are performing devotional service, should not be worried. Array, when I'm leaving the body when sun is in Dakshina, and when I'm leaving, or I'm leaving the body when the and when, so doesn't matter. If you are devotee, there is no harm at all. That's what he says here, that विद्येषु यज्ञेषु तपस्सु चैव दानेषु यत् पुण्यफलं प्रदिष्टम् अतएति तत्सर्वम् इदं विदित्वा योगी परम स्थानं उपैति चर्यम्. So he says, a person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the result derived from the studying the Veda, performing sacrifice, undergoing austerity, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all this, and at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode. We don't have to worry. Arey, रात में शरीर छोड़ा, दिन में छोड़ा. Arey, when we are about to leave body, it's difficult to remember. It's so painful. Then, arey, how will we ensure all those things, right? Krishna said, don't worry, just perform devotional service, rest will be taken care by me. So that's why Krishna appeared here in front of Bhismadeva to establish that. Of course, although the sun enters to the northern hemisphere, but this period is this, okay. So, so that's what Prabhupada writes. The perfect yogi or mystic can leave the material body at their own sweet will at the suitable time and go to the suitable planet decided by them. If someone is staunch brahmachari, Nashrik brahmachari, he can leave the body at his own will. That much power he has. He has that much power to heal the miseries of other people. Okay. But brahmacharya, you can follow the brahmacharya without devotion. Brahmacharya without devotion is useless again. So anything, Krishna Katha without Krishna is also useless. Now you may think that how the Krishna Katha can be created without Krishna. There are many people, they do Krishna Katha just for earning money, not to please Krishna, without parampara. There are maybe Mayavadis, they do Krishna Katha. They glorify themselves, they consider themselves as Krishna. That kind of Krishna Katha without Krishna becomes useless. So anything we do without Krishna is become useless. So, in Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the self-realized soul who have exactly identified themselves with the interest of Supreme Lord can generally leave the material body during the time of. So we have discussed this part. So I'm not going to discuss it. The next verse he says that so upa samprutya girah saha srinirya विमुक्त संगमन आदि पुरुषे कृष्णे लसत पितपते चतुर्भुजे पुरस्थिते अमिलित त्रुग यदा रयात. Thereupon that man spoke on different subjects with thousands of meaning, fought on the thousands of battlefield and protected thousands of men, stopped speaking and being completely free from all bondage, withdrew his mind from everything else, and fixed his wide open eyes upon the original personality of Godhead. Sri Krishna stood before him, four-handed, dressed in yellow garment, he glittered and signed. So, from this and what we'll discuss tomorrow. So, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So, how Bhismadeva is leaving the body, so we'll discuss that tomorrow.